When this client reached out to us looking for a new backyard pool and landscaped yard, he had a blank slate to work with. When he first showed us photos, I mean, his house wasn't even finished built yet. It still had the scaffolding up, but there was so much potential he wanted to unlock. He wanted something that really spoke to his love for the Zen-like garden experience. And we were able to pull it off for him. This yard is full of unique details: double stacked infinity pool, a slightly hidden spa inside the pool, a shade cover that it also acts as a water wall, and a whole side yard that had a unique sauna and spa-like experience. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through the details of where we started and how we got to the end product for this client. So as you noticed, when we first started, we really had not a lot of space to work with. And these windows, by the way, are so dominant that they really had to have a wow factor to look out at. So with the pool, we really worked on creating something unique for him. And it started with this infinity pool that had a second layer to it. And you'll see how this second layer really adds this level of depth that characterizes this pool to be something that's really special and unique. And with that, we started to really play around with additional ideas to make this focal point that you would see from inside the house. And here we are inside the house, looking out the backyard. And so having these laminar jets, these water jets that pour right from the back into the pool, was central to those windows. And as we started playing with the overall layout, we really wanted to find the best placement for the spa. And in this corner that's closer to his view was a key placement that we thought would work for him. We also decided that having it with that zen-like look, we would pop this up only an inch or two above the water. I believe we landed at 1.5 inches actually, right in between, to allow this to be very subtle, but truly functional, and almost looks like part of the pool. In fact, especially when you look at some of the finished photos and videos, the rest of the water is kind of moving with the wind, but the spa is very peaceful and still because it's just a smaller surface area. Another area that we really worked to have as a key element to this design was this water feature wall. Now this feature wall is not just a wall, but it also acts as a water wall. And the beauty of that is that depending on the mood and the serenity that you're trying to create, it allows you to turn on that water wall and hear the water sound behind you. And see the tile we chose? This tile, as you can notice in the close-up, has a little bit of texture to it, and it helps show off the water movement. If you're looking to see more water, you'll actually want to go with a darker tile tone. Oftentimes, the lighter color tones, you don't get to see a lot of the water movement. However, the beauty of them is the cleaning up of that calcium deposit over time is almost non-visible when you have a lighter material. So when you're making decisions for your own backyard or putting in some custom features that you're thinking of, always consider these two options. Just remember the darker one often takes a little bit more work and maintenance long term. Now, one of the features that we are really excited about in this was this fire feature. Now, in the design, it really didn't start out with how the finished product came to life, but one of the key elements, and because this was such a minimalistic approach to design, some of the main focal points had to have something special, and it was no different with this fire feature. You could see how the tapers inside, and that tapering really allowed it a unique shape to take place. And also it gave this ability to install the light that goes around the perimeter of the fire feature to be kind of this graduation or gradual intensity, I should say, because you have that pitch that basically naturally gets a little bit lighter with the light hitting it. Having the turf was also kind of a key element that we really want to play with. And you'll notice the turf here specifically really plays with those kind of natural patterns that you might see in a nice baseball field. But the idea was that it just didn't allow this main central point to be as boring, and we brought a little more life to it. And that was kind of the goal here. When they were putting the tile in, by the way, you could see the first step is that you create concrete forms. So these are all formed, the concrete's poured into a mold. After that concrete's poured, the tile's laid on top and glued to the surface. And that really allows this texture to come to life. Now, one of the areas too that was really important to the client was him to have his own like spa and zen-like experience. And this is one of our first that we've actually put in. These are pre-made saunas. This one was shaped as a barrel. And I love, look at when I open the door and you walk inside, it's a really kind of cozy environment. Especially I can only imagine at night when you're sitting in here and you're looking back through the glass window and back into the pool. And not only did he want a sauna, but he wanted a seating area, a little fountain, and then even a shower on the other side. So having this whole like spa-like side really creates this whole almost outer room experience for the client. And I want you to realize too that You might have space, and even like this one didn't have a ton of space, but there's multiple areas to hang out and have function at, from the turf area where you can set up a table and have a large party, to obviously the pool, swimming, to the spa. This one seats 8. This is a 7x7 size spa. You can go bigger. If you do like a 10x10, you can actually fit 12 to 14 people depending on how many children you have in the mix. But then also just having a large covered area with a canvas created a whole nother mood. And so just realize that with the space that you might be working with, you can create true zones and experiences for yourself, your family, and even guests. So thank you for joining me on this yard tour. It's so special when you can see something that looks like this and comes to life like this. Make sure you like this video, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe. We have so many ranges of amazing styles that might really speak to you, like ones like these.